college too.
It's great.
It was, especially when the girlfriend got in the mix.
Oh, yes.
Alright, we are... so we can start pretending to be professional now.
Yep. Okay. Well, sorry. Okay, sorry. Well, one of my favorite bands just announced that they were doing an acoustic EP. And so I was wondering when that was going to come out. But it doesn't say.
Who's this?
All right. Band called Issues.
Do they play with tissues?
No, they play with guitars. I'm quickly YouTubing it.
I'm very excited to watch Watsky's new video.
Oh, fun. Yeah. Now, what kind of music is he in?
Rap.
Oh wait, is this okay, I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
I have a couple of his songs memorized.
Perfect. This is I just linked my favorite song. And so you could give it a listen to before or after. But alright.
I'm gonna give it 30 seconds starting right now.
Wait, I already deleted it. Crap. Are you at an ad?
No, I'm 15 seconds in.
Damn it.
Yep, definitely.
Oh yeah. What do you get? Where's the 30 mark? Oh yeah. Where you at?
How do men sing like that? That's not a criticism question. That's a I don't understand how he makes that sound question.
What, the screams or the...
No, the normal singing.
The normal singer? I don't know, he does...
I can scream like that! Too. I mean, not well. You would never want to hear that again, but I can scream.
But yeah, he did... I don't know how the lead singer does it, but... I think he's got a solid voice on him.
Do you remember which track by Watsky I've linked you to?
No idea. It's one with, I think he's wearing he's wearing a bow tie, I think. And maybe it's like, and he's in a house and he's rapping in front of I think yellow and pink striped wallpaper, but I'm not sure. And I could be completely wrong. There could be absolutely nothing like that in any of his music. That's just what I maybe remember.
It's all good. Let me know if it's this. Whoa. Now what? You're starting at 1 second in. I hope you can handle it.
Yeah, I can handle 1 second in.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about All You Can Do featuring Mental Illness.
Sure. I think you showed me this one too.
Probably did.
Anderson Paak.
I have this one memorized.
Okay, I have all of it. Oh yeah, you definitely remember this one.
See if I can find my favorite part. One.
Oh yeah.
I think it's here.
Flying in loops around the sternest scarecrow. Once Cupid hit me with this burning arrow, he lit the lava in my churning marrow. So when I'm tested, I remember I've been blessed with that tender ember resting left of center in my chest. And yes, if you fuck with us, you'll see my game face. Cause no matter who you pray to when you say grace. And no matter where you come from in this great space, every single person is escaping from the same place. So if you got a playlist blazing hot within, take a deep breath and feed it oxygen.
Man, good for you.
Love it! I listen to that once or twice on my way to the gym. Most of the time.
You have that same stuff. You have the same like kind of playlist you listen to at the gym. Oh, it's great. You just gotta be in the good mindset when you're in the gym,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to have the, either a steady flow where you can just kind of like ebb and flow to it, or like what I do is I do a lot of the heavier stuff because it makes me just want to like, just be a man and just like lift stuff and pick things up and put them down.
See, I do all that stuff in the pregame.
Okay.
And so I want to get juiced as I'm going in, and then I listen to a podcast or two once I'm in there, because I'm already good to go. I already have my focus, and now I just want something for that part of my brain to hook onto. And when music is going, I don't tend to like full albums, and I don't put in the time to make a mix tape or a playlist for myself. So
yeah,
a podcast, that lasts 30, 60, 90 minutes is good for me.
Gotcha. Yeah, that is too. What I do is, especially for my workout playlists, is I just kind of go through. I go, okay, what songs are super like heavy,
Mm-hmm.
and like heavy and just like fast paced and stuff like that. And then if I think if I'm kind of iffy on it, I listen to it and then I like picture like myself trying to lift weights to it. And I go, okay, yeah, this would work. Or nope, not at all.
I can dig it.
Yep.
I did that a lot earlier in life, or another way of saying that, when I was younger.
Right.
And now I listen to so many podcasts. Like the gym is just another opportunity to catch up.
Gotcha.
And I like music when I'm actually traveling.
Oh, I love listening to music. I love listening. See, this is where I'm different, is I love listening to full albums on car rides.
Yeah, I'm down with that too.
It's so great.
But almost all of the time, if you gave me a choice between talk radio and music, I would choose talk radio.
Gotcha.
That's starting to even out, but
yeah.
Anyway,
I like it.
Do you want to talk about some hockey?
I would love to talk about some hockey. Oh yeah, it seems like we always somehow start on music and then go into hockey.
Yeah, but before we go into our topics, we need one more piece of music.
Okay. Oh God, here it comes. Let's go. Let's do this. I'm ready, Leroy Jenkins. Let's do this.
Jacob, do you know which episode we're in? It's episode 2. Can you believe it's been yet another full week since we've talked about hockey? Isn't that weird? Isn't it strange, wild, and beautiful how we could just convene every Friday afternoon to talk about the thing that we dream about?
Mm-hmm. It is beautiful. But we talk not just on Friday about hockey, because we also are in the fantasy leagues, and so we talk every once in a while about those as well.
Yeah. Friday's the day when we hit the record button.
Exactly.
All other days we don't.
Exactly. That's how we gotta look at it.
For us, Friday is our Sabbath.
No,
right?
For us, Friday is our business day. It's our business time. It's business. It's business time.
That's a damn good reference.
Thank you. I do what I can.
Much better than mine. Although I still prefer, it's my dick in a box! It's my dick in a box, yeah girl. I hope Flight of the Conchords comes back.
I was never that into it, but I had two of my best friends in high school were really into them, and so they would play Flight of the Conchords music every once in a while, and it was hysterical.
I think I'm in a better mental state. That's a really weird way of putting it, but I think I'm in a better frame of mind. That's also a weird way of putting it.
You would get the humor better.
I would appreciate it better. No, it's not about understanding. It's that I would be open to laughing at it. Because when it first came out, I was going through some other shit that was not allowing me to just dig into the humor, and now I think I could.
Okay. I gotcha.
But, hey! Stick curves.
Stick curves. Wait, question. Do you tend to lean a little to the left or the right?
Oh, I'm a straight shooter, baby.
You're a straight shooter? Okay, good. Get a little upward angle?
Uh-huh. Get a little manual maneuvering with my dangle.
Oh my. Okay then.
Just call me the Sidney Crosby of dangles.
The Sidney Crosby? Flat blade? No curve? Straight, no chaser?
Exactly. All flex, baby.
All flex. God damn it. Alright, what's your flex at? 85, 110, 57? I mean, what is it?
Whatever it needs.
Well, you know, the more flex means it's the higher the number, the stiffer it is.
Yep.
Alright.
That's why our moms love it when our dads take Viagra.
Oh my god. Okay, now that's enough penis jokes. Let's actually talk about hockey sticks.
So I bought myself, this is great radio, but I'm gonna go grab it. Hold on.
So while he's gone, I just want to say that Matt, well, he likes to think that he is an NHL sized stick. He really only has a peewee stick. It's a little shorter. It's a youth stick.
It's ironic coming from the person 6 inches shorter than me.
Damn it! I didn't know if you were gonna be on when I was saying that or not. Damn it! I missed it.
You were most of the way through.
God damn it. I was gonna try to see. I was gonna wait until post production to see if you were gonna catch it.
Oh, now I wish I hadn't ruined it.
No, that's okay. No big deal.
So I went to Modell's earlier because I had a $20, basically a gift certificate, but I accumulated so many Modell's points that they were giving me $20 store credit.
Nice.
Yeah, and I have my street hockey playoff matchup tomorrow. So.
Ooh. What seed are you?
2.
You're the 2 seed. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And how many teams are inside? How many teams make the playoffs?
8.
Solid work.
10-game season. Your boy was only there for the first 4 or 5, and then life got in the way. But, you know, I'm your everyday Awesemo. I don't even take after a player. They take after me. They just call me Matty Awesemo.
Gotcha. You know, Dangle Snipe Sully, the original point getter.
Mm-hmm. 3-zone player.
There you go.
Yep. Don't need a C on this chest. Everybody just knows. Alright, so I went to Modell's and I got me a new, for a change, I got me a one-piecer. And this is a wood shaft with an ABS blade, alright? Normally I just buy a blade for my composite shafts. They didn't have any blades at Modell's that I liked. They had a stick that I liked, so I went with that. All things are temporary anyway, right, buddy? Alright, so what did I get? I got me a Sherwood Senior Stastny blade. That's right,
Ooh.
I got me a Paul Stastny model PP26 Sherwood True Touch.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm sure my boy Paul is treating you right.
Would you like to know which troubled country in Eastern Europe is the maker of this stick?
I'm going to guess Czechoslovakia.
That is a great guess. It is close though. You're a little northwest.
Well, first of all, Czechoslovakia isn't technically a country anymore.
I know. I was letting it go.
Okay. I'm a little northwest.
Mm-hmm. They're currently embroiled in a conflict.
Oh, Ukraine.
Yes.
Nice. I like the Ukraine.
Yeah, they're cool people, man.
Oh yeah.
Very pretty women. Very interesting women.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Mm-hmm. In any event, so now I don't have the stats on the line, the curve, or the curve or anything, but so I was comparing this to a Crosby, and all jokes aside, the Crosby model, I think it was a Reebok 2K. The Crosby reminded me more of a banana on the curve, to be quite honest. It wasn't quite like that, not like an old school Badra or coffee, but like it was clearly for just going top shelf and not much else. And I'm using a ball on an outdoor rink. Control is really important because the playing surface isn't even. There's little pieces of bark everywhere or pieces of gravel, and just shit fucks up your control all the damn time. And it's a ball. It doesn't lie flat anywhere. So instead, the reason why I went with this Stastny is because it's a mid curl. It's slightly open at the toe. But on the heel, the part where you really want to stick handle and control from, is pretty darn flat. It's not perfectly flat. I would actually like it if this stick was a little flatter, a little straighter. Maybe closer to an older Camilleri or Zetterberg. But be that as it may, I've got this nice flat part right on the heel, about 1/3 of the blade up. It starts to open up and curl. And that's perfect. Well, perfect is the wrong word, but it's good. And I have to tell you, bud, when I was stick handling and practicing earlier, I was doing a few drills, it felt natural. That is the best part.
That's great because when I was always choosing out sticks, I don't think I ever, well, granted this was always for ice. I never took into account the playing surface or anything like that. So I think it's very, very astute of you to think of what kind of environment you're going to be playing for, what kind of blade you wanted because of that. Now, does the gravel and stuff, does that tear up your stick?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, I feel like you go through sticks a lot quicker that way.
Yep, these things, you don't get a season out of these things.
Damn.
And, you get about 4 or 5 games out of them because either the stick breaks or the blade wears down. And that's just the truth of the matter. We're playing on asphalt in Chinatown, Manhattan. This, right by the FDR bridge, or it's not a bridge, it's a highway. And that's the dealio. There are trees that hang over the top of the rink, and shit gets in the way. The playing surface isn't even. You kind of are forced to learn to take things into account because you're on a breakaway. It's just you and the goalie, and it hits one little piece of gravel or a remaining piece of a twig, and it pops up over your blade, and the momentum is killed. It's happened to me before.
That sucks. And then are you playing on foot or rollerblades?
Foot. The rink is only like 2/3 the size of an NHL rink.
Okay.
So the game looks a bit more like lacrosse, just in terms of the way that it's played, than it looks like hockey. But it's not small enough for blades. I would love to play roller hockey. I'm trying to get into Manhattan Roller Hockey League, but this rink is not big enough. Maybe if it was 3-on-3, but even then, that's pretty tight.
Yeah. Do you guys play 5-on-5 or 4-on-4?
5s.
5s? Okay, that's not bad at all.
So the one interesting rule that we adjust to is, so the rink has all the circles and all the lines and all of that. So
yeah,
when the offensive team establishes the offensive zone, so when they legally bring it into the offensive zone, over the blue line,
yeah,
the neutral zone is so compact that the breadth of the offensive zone comes back to the red line, which is like an extra 15 feet. So once you establish the offensive zone, you literally get half the rink to work with.
So, okay, so basically once you cross the blue line,
yeah,
then let's say the ball goes in between the blue line and the red line, everybody doesn't need to come out. It's still considered onside.
Exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's an adjustment by necessity, and it's wonderful. It is absolutely wonderful. It helps game flow so much. It helps bring newbies along, and it takes a little bit of mental gymnastics, especially if you grew up playing hockey, to get used to, because you're just so hard-lined into the blue line. But in less than a season, you should get over it. And I gotta tell you, bud, having all that extra space to work with, I just love it. I absolutely love it. Sometimes I'm playing like a Yager game out there where I'm just using my reach of my body to shield with, or to throw sauce with, or to use screens. Oh God, it is so much fun.
No, I love that because I'm in a floor hockey league here at Marquette, and we play on a gym floor, and we do and it's 4-on-4. And there was one game earlier this season where this kid was carrying up the ball up on the right side, and I was probably about 5 steps ahead of him, and I initiated quote unquote contact. We were just kind of like rubbing up against each other, but I kept pace, and I just basically did a moving screen, like basically so the guy could just walk up into close enough to get a shot off, and it's great. I love that aspect of the floor hockey game. Is that
Talk about your playing surface. Talk about the ball that you use, because we use a standard street hockey ball, and talk about the sticks, because though these 3 elements tend to really help dictate the kind of hockey you end up playing.
Oh yeah, so we play on just a standard gym floor, like basketball gym floor, and what's nice about it is we play on the far left side of the gym, so we have like a wall. We have a wall on one of our sides where the benches are, so you can kind of play off the wall. And then the unfortunate thing is we have a curtain on the other side, on the right side. So you can't really use those boards that well because the ball won't bounce off. But we use standard street hockey balls. And so they run pretty nicely on the floor. There's not a lot of bumping around and things like that. The one unfortunate thing about our floor hockey league is that we use the plastic Mylac sticks, the ones with the white shaft with the red and blue plastic blades. And the reason why we use that is because we used to be able to use composite sticks a couple of years ago, and then there were a bunch of injuries because like one person got hit up high with a ball and he started bleeding, another guy took a stick up to the face and was bleeding, and there were a lot of injuries like that, and because the players were being able to whip the ball so hard with those graphite sticks that they said, we have to use these plastic ones to kind of limit injuries. And so the problem is that whenever you try to take a wrist shot or not a slap shot, or like a wrist shot or snap shot, your blade automatically opens up. And so like it's so hard to get off a quality shot, or like it's different. Like it's a totally different style of play, especially when you have 22-year-olds playing with that. Like they're fine for 6th graders because they don't play that hard. But yeah, it's what's unfortunate about playing that. But it's a lot of fun, and so they just instituted a new rule this year where you can bring your own stick if it's a wooden shaft and a plastic blade. So I've been looking around I played against sports and Sports Authority and stuff like that to try to find a stick because. 2, I want to stick before the playoffs, so that way when the playoffs come around, I can have my own stick and be familiar with it and have a stiffer blade than the crap that we have to use.
So the last couple of years in my street hockey league, I've been trying to use primarily a straight blade because I'm the kind of forward that plays in all situations. I'm in all corners. I'm on the left side. I'm on the right side. I play center. Like I have no designated area. I am usually F1 on my line, and I have to go do the thing that needs to be done at the time.
Gotcha.
So
it all depends on how you use it. Like I'm starting to use a lot more of my heel on the heel, like to make passes and take shots because you don't get the blade opening up as often and to a lesser degree, so you can kind of have a little bit more control over it. But yeah, I mean sometimes you're trying to make a pass and you don't get a shot off, you don't get a pass off at all, and sometimes you make another pass and it's super hard. And it bounces over people. Like it's kind of like using a regular stick, but at the same time, you just never quite know what you're going to get with it. So you end up playing a little bit more cautiously.
I'm really sorry to hear that, man. Like that sounds terrible. It sounds like you guys should just switch over to floorball, and that way you can not worry about any injuries because everything's made out of plastic, similar to wiffle balls, which it can't hurt you. It can't go fast enough to hurt you. Right. And everything is durable and you can get some whip on it. I mean, it's a bit of an investment, and maybe that's the reason, but.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's whatever. It's one of those things where they're trying to find a solid medium for guys. And I think that if you use your own stick, if you have your own stick, it's good. But what's funny is one kid, one of our players, he brought his own stick, and then halfway through his shaft broke in half. And so he had to grab a plastic one.
Oh man.
It was like bad, like full on splintered. It was interesting.
The last time I played in this league, which was the last weekend of July, and then the family stuff started. Or it could no longer be pushed aside, so it was dealt with. I received a really good cycle pass right off the wall, and I was gonna cut. So I'm a lefty, I was on the left side, and I had room to go to the far side. Not with the shot, but just like with my body. But what I wanted to do is, because this goalie reacts so much to everything, what I wanted to do is I wanted to fake like I was going to go far side. So I was going to bring everything to my backhand and then quickly bring it back to my forehand and chip it in short side. And as I was going to do that, as I was doing the transfer, my blade got hacked and
just game over.
I mean, I no longer had a blade. And so it was really frustrating because it was a clear slash and the referee didn't call it. It was a clear scoring opportunity. It really didn't make any sense why there was no penalty on the play. And I mean, it just goes to show you, like, when you have an opportunity, don't think so much. But I really felt like, whatever, it doesn't matter. It was just frustrating, and I'm hoping that kind of shit doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
But
I gotcha.
I really like what I have in my hands right now.
Good. Now here's a major question. What was your favorite blade playing ice hockey? What was your favorite blade when you were playing ice?
It was actually something similar to this.
Oh,
nice. It
was
a Michael Peca.
Ooh, a Peca. I had a Peca blade at one point.
Yeah. Let me go grab it. One sec.
He likes to pecker people with his Peca. Also, his nickname for his dick is Peca.
It is one of the original Bauer Vapors.
Okay. I don't think I ever had one of those, but I know what you mean.
And let's see if I can. Let's see. I have to unwrap it a little bit because I have some.
Unwrap it?
Well, unwrap some of the tape.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to find the exact model.
Gotcha.
Here, while I'm gonna unwrap this thing a little bit, why don't you go on about your favorite? Yeah.
So I was always a fan of having having a pretty big curve on my six because I couldn't stick handle very well. I mean, I can handle the puck, but I couldn't like make dangles or anything like that. That just wasn't my style. My style was a guy who was able to park in front of the net, make passes, and get in front of the net, get a rip a wrist shot from the slot, or pick up garbage goals. And so I wanted a big curve so that way I could lift the puck up in close spaces. So I remember back in Pee Wee's, I had a Maxim Afinogenov blade.
Whoa.
And that was great. The curve on this was ridiculous. It opened up a little bit at the toe. It was great, and I loved it because I got some good height on it, and I could whip some wrist shots pretty well. And again, I didn't take a lot of slap shots, so having that giant curve wasn't necessarily bad for me. I mean, yeah, my slap shots were gonna be a hindrance, but I didn't take them that often. So then when I couldn't find an Afinogenov blade, I would use a Sakic blade, which is kind of the same.
Yeah, I remember I had some Sakics.
Sakics, I think they're a little bit more open, and it's not as big of a drastic curve. It's a little more straighter, but that's what I've got now, and I absolutely love it. It's a fantastic blade, and I can do a lot of fun stuff with it.
So my model is this is a Bauer Vapor XX.
All right.
model P71. Regular flex 87, 445 grams. And this was my all-time favorite, Michael Peca. I have always sort of looked for this sort of blade, this sort of curl. It's actually much better than the Stastny one that I have right now, but that's because the curl starts much later. That's
a nice stick.
Yeah. I was the do whatever you need to do at the moment kind of guy. I wanted to be sort of utilitarian and stylistless, or without style. There were aspects of games that I tried to model after, so if I was in center of the net, I tried to do my best Adam Graves. If I needed to be an agitator, I tried to do my best Clark Lemieux. If I was forced to make a list of preferences, what did I like to do? I like to be defensively responsible. I like to outskate people.
Okay.
I really loved going as fast as I could, and I could get up there. And I like to pass. I really love to pass. And I love throwing sauce. Backhand, forehand, whatever. And to me, it didn't really matter how the play was getting done. I wanted to be part of it. Some of my favorite career highlights are blocking a shot and then going to center and going on a 2-on-none and just dishing at the last second to my teammate for the slam dunk of a goal.
That's awesome.
Yeah. By the way, we got a bit off track on our to-do list here.
I don't think so. I mean, we were talking about stick curves for a while. I mean, yeah, I guess we did kind of go off a little bit. Oh well.
Nah, it's no big deal.
Yep.
So, let's talk about hockey injuries. And, you seemed like you were going to transition into those pretty good when you were talking about your league. When you were talking about the guys who got bloodied. And before we get into some of the hockey injuries we've witnessed, what is the worst hockey injury you sustained? Because mine is a concussion.
The worst injury I ever had was my sophomore year in high school, and I was playing C team, and I was up on the right side of the boards, right in front of my bench, and so I go to dump the puck into the zone, and this guy comes across and he hits me. And I'm like pretty much up right near the boards, but he hit me a little bit higher. And so like my entire like torso kind of leans over the bench. And then, so it's kind of like he just kind of shoves me, hits me, and I kind of like fall, not necessarily fall into the bench, but I kind of like lean over into the bench and then come back out. And so after that hit, I skated around for a little bit, and I was just like, man, something wasn't right. And so I go on the bench and I sit down. And it was like, and so I sit down, and then I go, and then my shift comes up again, and I go to stand up, and I go out to skate, and I can't skate. Like, it hurts too much to just skate. And so I went out there, I like skated for 5 seconds, and then came back on the bench. I was like, I can't skate, coach. And so he goes, okay, sit down. And then it would hurt if I was standing up, and if I'd sit back down, it'd be better. But it still kind of hurt. And so my parents had to come pick me up because I drove myself to the game, and it was snowing outside, so they had to drive me home. But I ended up getting back spasms so when that hit, it started causing a spasm in like my lower back, like almost to my butt. And it was basically a muscle was just like twitching, and it wouldn't stop. And so I went to the doctor that Monday. They gave me muscle relaxers, and then I was out for about a week and a half, so it wasn't like too bad. But I just kind of eased back into it, and then I ended up being fine. But thankfully, that was the only major injury that I ever had playing is that I had back spasms. And it's surprising because when I was like a peewee and early bantams, I was a really small kid going to get kids who could be really tall, and so I'm surprised I never got a concussion or something like that, being as small as I was and never really shying away from a hit.
How small were you?
Well, let me put this in perspective. So I was a midget minor when I was a freshman in high school. So I finished bantams in 8th grade, and then I stopped because I thought it'd be better to play high school than to go play midget minor, where we went from 4 travel teams to 1 travel team. Because I knew I wasn't going to make the team. But entering high school, I was 4'10" and 95 pounds.
I had a boy.
Yeah.
I was 4'8", like 75 or 80 pounds going into high school.
No way. You were 4'8" and Jesus. What are you now?
6'2", 165.
Yep. See, I'm 6, 155.
Man, we could really fit on a twin bed together, huh?
We could easily. We would be like 2 matchsticks in a box or something like that. I don't know. I was trying to make a twig joke, but I couldn't make it.
That was a good one. You should have kept it.
Thank you.
I've had all sorts of injuries, and some of them were, I had a hip injury when I was in middle school. A kid who was basically twice my size fell on me in a normal skirmish. I had both of my elbows busted, unusual, for like a month in high school. I had at least 1 concussion, chipped teeth, tears in my scapula, or both scapulas. I've had bruised ankles. I
don't count those. Like getting bruised.
Oh no, like I mean bruised, like it's hard getting your shoe on and off.
Oh jeez, okay, my bad.
That's all good. So, but a lot of these things happened in the flow of the game. Like none of them were nefarious. None of them were even necessarily bad luck. The ankles, I was blocking shots. The elbows, bad luck. I went to make a hit on one of my elbows, and my elbow pad was off. Was not properly aligned. And I banged my elbow real good.
Ooh.
And I don't remember what happened to the other one, but like, that's just a weird thing that happens. You know, same thing with my hip injury, same thing with the concussion. I don't remember how I got my concussion, but I do know that it was just, damn, that sucks, dude.
Yeah.
And in street hockey, despite wearing some gear, like I've been cut everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And it's just, I've gotten a lot of injuries. Some of them were pretty bad, but none of them were just, you know, somebody went and fucked me up. None of them were like that. But the worst injuries I've ever seen were these. So I was there when Mark Stahl basically had his eye.
Oh no.
Against the Flyers. I was on the other side of the rink. So that happened in the Rangers defensive zone, and I was near Steve Mason or Ray Emery, whoever it was in net at the moment. Yeah, that was an audible cry that cut right through everything. The other one is this. So I may have spoken about this on the podcast before, but grew up with a kid on my travel club team who one summer unfortunately had his eye poked out playing street hockey. And truthfully told, he was pretty cool about it. I don't know why he was so cool about it. I don't know if it was his personality or if he put on a brave face or what. But one season he showed up with a glass eye, and we're only like 12 or so years old, and every once in a while when we were down late in the third and we needed a goal, that eye would just kind of pop out. and this would happen while he was on the ice. This would happen as he was coming onto the ice. This would happen in our league. We didn't have glass between the benches or the penalty box. Everything was open-ended.
Yep.
Teams even shared the penalty box, which was really weird.
I feel like that would not go well when you were playing a very chippy game.
And when you're a teenager.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, we usually had a parent or a coach or something stand in there, and the adults were, well, adults.
Yeah.
Anyway, so one time he is getting ready to come out of the penalty box, and this is in an end of the year tournament, either in Cherry Hill or Philadelphia. I don't recall which. But he's going to be our sixth man. And that's going to be for like the final 20 seconds of the period. And he takes out his eye, and we're in the offensive zone, and he just rolls it like a marble right down the goaltender's way. And you could just see the line of people who hear it, see it, get confused, and then recognize what it is. And you could see all this mental processing evolve in their body language. And you could tell that none of us are responding to it. In fact, you might think that we don't even notice it.
Right.
But it made it all the way to the goalie. Somehow, man, it didn't hit a skate. The referee didn't stop it. The puck didn't interfere. All the way to the goalie, and it stopped right in the crease, right in the snow that he had piled up.
Oh, no.
And he looked down, and he got distracted. And then one of our boys who was sitting on the dot roofed it on a one-timer.
Oh, man.
And we went into overtime, and we won on a completely normal play. With like 17 seconds left, extra man. It was like a video game. It was like a cheat code.
That's so funny. That is fantastic. I applaud that kid for playing like that.
Yeah, it's a really weird thing to think that a kid. Now, like, if we were in our mid-20s and it's 10 years out and he has a sense of humor about it, that makes more sense. But like, we're talking like less than a year, or maybe less than 2 years post
injury.
Yeah.
God, that's great.
Mm-hmm. But this is a little mean, but it was kind of fun when it was obvious his angle or depth perception was off.
Oh yeah. No. That's so. He was still playing hockey with a glass eye, right?
Yeah.
So he was blind in one eye.
Yeah.
How did he not get smoked from his blind side constantly?
Because he was one of the kids who grew up really fast physically.
Okay.
He had a full beard in high school.
Oh, good for him.
Mm-hmm. And I don't like to admit this, but we were like level C in club hockey.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of high stakes competition.
Okay.
And I don't like to say it like that, but it was a good situation to have a disability like that.
Okay, yeah, because I just know that, I don't know, I feel like that'd be definitely a hindrance to playing, not being able to see half the rink.
Yeah, and so he just learned how to deal with it. And, the thing about sports, or the thing about hockey rather, is that the dimensions haven't changed in 100 years. So
right.
If he, by that time, had everything memorized and he was patient enough to let certain things come to him, bada bing.
He's good to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any injuries on your behalf?
No, that's the thing though. I don't think I've ever seen live any really big injuries. There's nothing that really sticks out in my mind. Yeah, I can't think of. I mean, obviously I've seen YouTube videos about and watched the 30 for 30 short on Clinton Malarchuk and all that stuff, and Aaron Asham and all those. Because I feel like everybody can definitely say those are definitely the nastiest injuries they've seen. But yeah, I've never seen anything big like the Mark Stahl injury in person.
Yeah, that wasn't the thing that needed to happen.
Yeah, no. But if we are speaking about injuries right now, there was a very interesting situation going on in the Central Division. The Avs have Semyon Varlamov on IR, and they had Reto Berra suited up for their game last night, or a couple of nights ago. I can't remember what it was.
It was last night.
It was last night. Okay, perfect. And he gets bowled over 2 minutes into the game and has to come out, and so Calvin Pickard, who was just called up from Lake Erie one day earlier, that day, was is now starting his first NHL game. And so the Avs goaltenders there's a very interesting situation there to see how the Avs, who are not a great possession team and who give up a lot of shots, now have a very, very rough rookie in play right now.
We said this last week about the Derek Stepan injury if you're gonna break your leg, and also about Dan Boyle, who if you're gonna break your hand, let it be in October, right?
Right. Get your groin issues out of the way early.
Yeah, so even if Varlamov and Berra miss, through Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, it sucks. But that's when you want to lose the time. So, when people get knocked out of the lineup, that means that somebody else has the opportunity to seize the moment.
Right.
And I don't know jack about Calvin Pickard. And I don't know very much about Semi Idocalio. I don't know. I just don't know about them. But Calvin Pickard has a prime opportunity to show that he is NHL caliber, as well as directly start learning from Francois Allaire, a good thing, and Patrick Waugh, an amazing thing.
Yep. Yeah, well, I actually got to see Pickard play a couple of years ago when he was with Lake Erie, and he's a good goaltender. He was a good goaltender at the AHL level, because I remember I picked him up when we did the Ice AHL fantasy league. I remember he was one of the goaltenders that I picked up.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's a solid player. But what I think is interesting is that, because groin injuries can be very, very nagging. And
yes.
Waugh has already said that Varley isn't necessarily responding to treatment that well. And so depending on how long Bear is out, does the Avs go and look for outside help?
Okay. Let's measure that though with their cap situation, which is very favorable.
Right.
But just to use specifics, because the power of the internet compels us.
And because Cap Geek is great.
They are 9th in the league in cap space, and as of today, 3:24 Eastern on Friday, October 17th, 2014, they have but $276,000 in cap space. So it is not very favorable, and I was completely wrong off the top of my head.
So wait, they only can sign somebody for $276,000?
With the exception of Berra, who's making 1.45 million, or Varlamov, who's making 5.9 million, go on LTIR.
Which I don't think is going to happen.
Right. So without one of them going on LTIR, they can't even sign somebody to the league minimum.
Okay, so then never mind. Darn this, the money situation. This money thing always gets in the way.
And it sucks because you want to not see a quality team be undermined by a goalie situation of any kind. But it would be interesting if they're able to make something happen. They've got guys like Jesse Winchester and Marc-Andre Cliche, who's making $900,000 and $700,000 respectively, on the payroll. And if they got Zach Redmond that's making $750K. If they can make somebody move, well, let's go over some of the guys who are out there. There's Tim Thomas. There's Martin Brodeur.
Yep.
There's the Grizzly Bear himself, Ilya Bryzgalov.
Yeah, there's also, did you say Marty? Because for a second there I zoned out for a second. But
yes, I did.
Okay, my bad. But yeah, guys like Tim Thomas, Vokun, Brizzy.
Vokun.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure. I thought you said Vokun, but no. So yeah, Vokun, Brizzy, Marty, and Timmy Thomas out there, and all four of them could, do a decent job. Last year you had a guy like J.S. Jaguar behind backstopping Varley, so it's not like there isn't a quality goaltender that's been behind Varlamov before. So I would love to see. Again, you would like to see somebody like Vokun, or I think Briz in the Avalanche jersey would be great.
Oh, would it ever?
But yeah, I think that's just something that they should they should maybe keep an eye on, but unfortunately most likely will not happen.
And it sucks because you want to see a team put forth the best that they can and not be hamstrung by other stipulations.
Right.
Now, Picard could be a gem, man. He could be not the real deal, but he could perhaps hold his own. Who do you most want to see?
Out of the four, it's Brizgalov. Without a doubt. He is the guy that I think is the most fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I mean, yeah, all four of them are goaltenders, and goaltenders are pretty weird, but Briz is just like, he's so great. I mean, the fact he was taking selfies in a preseason game and went full regalia sitting in the middle of the bench, like, the NHL just needs a personality like that. And the league is a little bit less funny, with him not on the roster.
Absolutely. Although I think that their best option is probably Vokoun. And even that, like, none of these goalies are very good options in terms of the overall quality of play, but you just imagine that they're better than the in-house options.
Yes.
We really won't know what is and is not a viable option until people make salary demands and the Avalanche figure out who and what they can or cannot move, blah, blah, blah. Money, money, money.
Right. Starting that money problem.
Wouldn't it be cool if two of them find their way to Denver? Like, wouldn't it be cool if they send out Ida Kallio and they send down Picard, so that frees up $1.5 million. They move a contract. Let's just say Ryan Wilson, because it's the name I'm looking at. That's $2.25 million. And they bring in Tim Thomas and Ilya Brizgalov.
That'd be great. Like I said, I just want to see Briz in the NHL again. I think he deserves it. But I think it's going to be tough for them to bring in two people, especially with Berra and Varlamov being there. I don't think they could get one. I don't think they'll go for two though.
Oh, I don't think anything is going to happen. I just think it'd be fun.
Right.
Speaking of things that are fun and probably won't happen. Would you like to tell the world which team is the last remaining undefeated team and is sitting top of the table in all of the NHL?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the Kings. It's not the Hawks. It's not the Bruins. It's not the Rangers. It's not the Blues. It is the New York Islanders, who are a 4-0-0 for only the third time in franchise history. And they, with Johnny T and Grabowski leading the way, the Islanders, and Halak making all the stops, are the best team and the only undefeated team left in the NHL. And that is redonkulous.
One of two teams, Montreal being the other with 8 points, which is the league leader. And so which do we think is more likely? That the Islanders are going to sit top of the table, or the Flames, who are fourth in the West with 6 points and 3 wins, will sit in the top 4?
Okay, so the chances of either one of those staying is 0.1%.
That sounds high.
Yeah, exactly. But I think more likely would be the Islanders staying atop of the Eastern Conference, rather than the Flames staying in the fourth spot, in the top 4 in the West. Because the Flames are just god awful and the Islanders actually could be pretty good.
See, I think the chances of either one of them making the playoffs is less than the odds of winning the lottery.
Ooh, wow. Wow. That is a hefty thing. That is a hefty bet.
I obviously watched the Rangers Islanders game a couple nights ago, and that sucked. Here's the thing that the Islanders have certainly done. They've certainly deepened their roster. We know this.
Mm-hmm.
signing Grabo, Kulemin, trading for Leddy and Boychuk. We know this. It is remarkable, though, how much of a world of difference that makes by having a 23-man lineup that's at least 12 or so deep now.
Right.
Two full lines.
It's fantastic.
And you have a few rookies and sophomores that are ready to step up, like Brock Nelson, for example. And you have reliable goaltending. It makes such a world of difference. They are obviously going to be the most improved team in the NHL. I just don't think that they're going to still make the playoffs.
Okay. I think that they have a shot to. They gotta make a move or something like that at the deadline, but I think they could do it.
Yeah, anything's possible, right?
Exactly. Anything is possible. Just like, go ahead.
No, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say, anything is possible, just like the Buffalo Sabres getting a victory this year so far. They are not one of the bottom 4 teams that have zilcho wins. And would you like to take a gander / guess at who is the teams without a win?
I'm gonna guess. I can't guess. I'm looking at it.
That's fine. There are 4 teams.
Philly, Carolina, Florida, and Edmonton.
Edmonton. Those are your 4 winless teams. Now, which one of those 4 teams do you think gets a victory first?
That's a good question.
Well, here's what we've got so far. So, tonight, Florida is playing Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
And Edmonton is playing Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
And then, tomorrow night, you have, let me see here. Well, let me pull it up. I can't find it. Anyway, that's what's happening. Those are the 2 teams that Florida's playing Buffalo. And then, what is today? And then tomorrow night, you have, I can't look it up. Anyway, yeah, so there you go. Florida and Edmonton are playing each other. So one of those two teams are going to get a victory. And then Carolina might be playing tonight. Carolina does not play tonight. Or tomorrow night. Tonight.
All right, buddy.
Never mind.
Let me answer the question. So, the answer to your question is I have no freaking clue, and the reason is because all 4 teams are playing so dreadfully. And that's really the answer, man. The Edmonton Oilers are the only team who have allowed more goals than the Rangers. Buffalo has an anemic offense. So does Carolina. And Philadelphia is a mess. So who gets the first win? I'll just take a stab at it. It's probably Carolina, because that's where my eyes are laying. But I think a good question for you is, who do you think finishes... How do I say this? Do you rank these 4 teams?
Okay.
Where do you think they finish in relation to Connor McDavid and the playoffs? Are they closer to? No, that's a dumb question.
No, I got it. Okay, so I'll go going from worst to least at the worst to best out of the 4 teams by the end of the season.
Do they finish closer to Connor McDavid or the playoffs? That's what I'm trying to ask.
Okay. I think the only team that finishes closer to the playoffs than Connor McDavid is Philadelphia.
But why? So that was the obvious one. But why? Is it because they have such good defense? Is it because they have such good goaltending? I don't understand.
Because I think that they have the best offense out of the 4. And so they're going to be the ones that are going to be able to put up goals. And if they have an above average defensive night, they're going to be able to get victories. I think that they're going to be in more close games than all three other, and they're going to be able to sneak out some wins.
Do any of them finish above 10th place?
Philly finishes at 10th. And then they go down from there.
Man. I mean, these could be the 4 worst teams in the NHL.
Well, I mean, they're 4 out of the 5, with Buffalo being the only exception.
It is. So, let's say that Philadelphia goes like 2-6. Alright? The rest of the way. So in the first dozen games, they only get 2 wins.
Yeah.
Are they able to turn it around like they did last year? Because that will have been a similar record.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, is that 2-6 it's not that bad. Like, you're only 8 games into an 82 game season. Like, you have a ton of time to make it up. Like, that's one of the things that I find frustrating with people saying they gotta panic early because they could logistically be out of playoff contention in November. It's like, no, you can't. You can easily turn it around. Yeah, you might not be a number 1 or number 2 seed, but you can still find your way into the 6, 7, 8 slot. Especially when you're playing in a division like the Metro where it's wide open outside of the number 1 spot. And you just have to beat your you have to beat your divisional opponents, and that's it.
When do you start concerning yourself with the standings?
Well, I look at them every once in a while, but I really don't looking at them until about January or February. That's when I really start standing to watch and say, okay, this is where we need to be in order to get to this playoff spot and things like that. And start looking at matchups.
It's very patient.
Yeah, but I mean, it's one of those things where also like, it's kind of like, I mean, especially with the Blues, like, it's one of those things where they're kind of they're expected to make the playoffs, so you don't necessarily need to worry about that because it's like, okay, we'll be there. It's just who are we facing? Not, oh, this is where we need to be in order to get in. When the Blues were a bubble team, I was looking at the standings in November.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, like, it really paying
seeding?
Yes, as last year showed, because we would have been able to take on the Minnesota Wild, probably get past them. But Hawks and Avs would have beat each other up. We would have gotten the winner of that, and we would have been fine. But no, we had to face the frickin' Blackhawks in the first round and lose 4 straight again. Still not over it.
Okay, I'm not over the Stanley Cup final. Fuck the Kings!
I agree. They shut us out last night. But which one of those 4 teams, Philly, Carolina, Florida, or Edmonton, finishes the highest in the Connor McDavid sweepstakes?
Carolina.
Okay, that's what I was going to go to as well.
Well,
unless if Edmonton goes straight fire sale and they just sell everybody.
Well, they wouldn't do that this year, and like that, like no matter how bad it gets this year, they're not going to do that unless a team really makes them a great offer because. This is obviously a year to be bad, right? Because if you're bad enough, you're going to get either Eichel or McDavid. That's pretty darn good. And this draft, they say, in general, is going to be very good. So I just think it's Carolina because they have the least tools. They have the fewest tools. They have the fewest offensive tools. They have the worst health. They have the fewest defensive tools. The goaltending, ironically, is probably the best, but Khudobin hasn't proven it over the course of a full season as even a 1B. So I'm not going to give him much credit, even though I am a believer. There's just kind of, so what that Skinner's coming back. And they've lost Jordan Staal for at least half the year. Eric Staal, we don't even know yet. He could be out just as long, but we really don't know yet.
Yeah.
And there's already talk about blowing it up. There's talk about Eric Staal being traded to Toronto, which is ludicrous because Toronto. Because it's ludicrous because A, Toronto probably doesn't have the pieces to do it, and B, they don't have the salary cap, and they're not going to be able to move enough salary to make him fit. It's just they're not buying out. David Clarkson. If they were going to buy out David Clarkson, they would have done it with a compliance and just completely wiped it off the slate.
Exactly.
There may be an appetite, but there's no fit. So I don't even understand where Eric Staal could go. Who's in that much need of a guy in his 12th or 13th season that is clearly on the decline and keeps running into injuries?
I mean, somebody who thinks that they need veteran experience in order to make a cup run.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't want Eric Staal on the Rangers, or I wouldn't be happy to have Eric Staal on the Rangers. It always depends on what you have to do to get him, right?
Exactly. Who you got to give up?
But Eric Staal just isn't on top of the list of people to go get. He's not like one of the Sedins who has a wealth of what's it called?
Knowledge? Experience?
No. Oh my god, I totally forgot the word. Anyway, the point is that Eric Staal is well past his prime, and he's clearly declining. So all this talk of Eric Staal getting a premium return for Carolina is pie in the sky.
Right. But, I mean, you never know. A team could overpay for the name Staal.
Oh, please.
I mean, you never know.
You're right. It could happen.
Right. Alright, so talking about overpaying and looking at the opposite side of the spectrum of the Connor McDavid sweepstakes, my girlfriend is in Vegas right now. And before she left, I told her to put $20 down on the St. Louis Blues winning the Stanley Cup. So my question to you, Reegs, is how much money would you bet on the Rangers winning the Cup this year?
I don't know, but at the very least I could match her.
You can match it?
Yeah, at the very least I would match it. I'd need to see the odds.
That's what I just pulled them up. The New York Rangers are 20-1.
Oh, I'll put down $20. Easy.
$20, so that would be a $400 payout.
Fuck it, I'll do 50.
Oh wow, $50 Good for you. I put down 20, and the Blues are at 12-1 odds. So I would win 240.
Can you link me to this, please?
Yeah, I will throw that up there, and then that's also going to be my next. My next question is: so there's your odds. Who do you have as what would be a solid dark horse?
A good value pick?
A good value pick, yes.
Okay, so Washington at 33-1.
Oh, Washington. Yeah.
Is a great value pick, and so is New Jersey at 50-1. Those are two great value picks.
I think I would pick over the Caps. I'd pick Columbus. I'd have Columbus going at 33-1.
Yeah, I skimmed right by him. Good call.
And then also, if you're going real sketch right now, go New York Islanders at 66-1.
Well, here's the thing is that I think that the Devils, and I'm not even sure that they'll make the playoffs, but I think that the Devils are the lowest on this rung that could, by some miracle, win the cup.
Right.
Because they have basically all the tools in place and they have the ability to supplement later in the season. The Islanders, who are only 2 slots down from 50 to 66, only the Arizona Coyotes sit between them. Again, there's too much inexperience, not enough depth is what I'm getting at. I'm shocked to see Minnesota at 14-1.
Yeah, I feel like they're the same as the Sharks, and I feel like the Sharks are or the Lightning. Although, Dallas Stars at 20-1 is also very enticing. I like that one.
Dallas Stars and the Rangers, both 20-1.
Yep.
God, I think I would put it on the Blue Jackets. If you gave me one, I'd either do the Lightning or the Blue Jackets.
Yeah. That'd be good.
Well, all right. The Blue Jackets at 33-1. Are you gonna put down $50?
No, God, no. I put down 10 or 20.
I mean, that's good too.
Right. That's the one where you throw down a low amount of money. You don't spend too much on it. But like for the Blues, like they're 12-1. So that's when you throw down 50.
How about, I mean, is there any convincing you of putting even $1 on the Winnipeg Jets, who
Absolutely
are 100-1?
Absolutely not. Because we all know there's absolutely no frickin' way that the Jets come and win the cup this year. They are so damn bad.
Would you think that the Islanders would be fun to bet on?
Yeah, because well, I mean, look at it right now. They're the best team in the NHL right now.
Come on,
why not
4
take advantage?
games.
Whatever. It's still 4 games, and they're at 66-1. They're one of the teams that they could go either end up being really good or really bad, and you just don't know which way they're going to roll.
How are they going to be really good? I don't get that. They don't have any depth. Johnny Boychuk just looks like Bobby Orr right now.
It doesn't matter though. All they need to be able to do is get into a solid position by the deadline, and they can supplement that depth.
Give the MVP to Johnny Tavares, the Vezina to Yaro Halak, and the Norris to Johnny Boychuk. Come on down.
That's all they need.
That's all they need.
Yeah, just three of the 5 trophies.
We'll give Grabo the comeback player of the year after he got trucked by John Scott.
Yeah. Yeah, that was bad.
Oh man. Alright, so who do you think is overrated here?
Overrated?
Yeah. The Caps at 33-1, the Oilers at 50-1, or the Sharks at 14-1.
Oh, easily the Sharks at 14-1. They're easily the most. They have the. I would put the Sharks at probably 20-22. I'd put them right around that range. Same with the Wild. I think Washington could probably be around 25. I think like they're a little undervalued. And then what is it? The Oilers at 51. Yeah, they're 100-1 right now. They should be 100-1.
Who do you think is best valued here? The Kings at 10-1. The Stars at 20-1, or the Leafs at 41.
Stars 21. Because I think they have the offense to really do some damage, and if Kari steps up and can be a Vezina style goaltender, they could do some real damage, and possibly add a little bit more blue line depth.
The only thing holding back the Stars is blue line depth.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah, like we said, they're 1 to 2. They are 1 to 2 pieces away from being legitimate cup contenders.
All right, but we've been rambling on for 75 minutes.
Yep. I think it's time to call it quits and me go to the bathroom.
Okay. Well, thank you for another lovely podcast, my friends.
And same to you.
All right, we'll be in touch.
All right, see you, dude.
Peace.